I hope you're well. I am back in my parents' house for a while, as you can see by my lovely books. What have we got here? We've got a bit of Twilight, don't judge, because it's also next to Jane Eyre. So, you know, not all bad. How loud can you burp? That's a good one. How loud can you burp? I don't know. Anyway, it got me thinking about all the stories that I got told as a kid, because I grew up in Norfolk, in East Anglia, and there is a legend. I mean, there are many, but there is one legend about Black Shuck. You may not have heard of Black Shuck, but don't worry, I'm going to tell you now. Basically, Black Shuck is this massive, kind of mangy black dog. They say that he has huge fiery eyes. Some people say he has but one fiery eye, like a cyclops dog, and it's in the middle of his face. They say that when he howls, it is so horrible that your teeth will rattle in your skull. And they say that if you see him, you will die by the end of the year. Oh. Some people say he's a demon, some people say he's a devil, some people say he's a spirit, some people say he is the dog of the god Odin, which I question because Odin had wolves, not dog, but maybe. But people have many stories about Black Shuck, as you do, and they date way back. There's one from 11 Frittenden about Bungay Church. There's a church in Bungay, and they say that one fateful night, Black Shuck went into the church, and then he came out of the church. But before he came out of the church, he killed everyone. So there's that. But these stories are not just old. There have been many over the years. There are some stories where Black Shuck helps people. They say if you're a lost traveller, he might not kill you. He might just help you find your way back. Why? Who knows? Maybe Black Shuck himself is lost and is trying to find his master. I don't know. And so you might see him. People will still see him to this day. In this century, people have seen Black Shuck. You might see him while you're going for your walk. You might see him in the bushes. You might see him when you are sitting down to have your dinner. You might see him out of the window. You might see him while you are waiting for your bus. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that's just my godfather who sometimes turns into a black dog. Incorrect, Harry Potter fans. No, it is not Sirius Black. J.K. Rowling was wrong. It is Black Shuck. It is always Black Shuck. And if you see him, you will die. They say there was one man in about 1986, and he saw Black Shuck. Oh my God, I've heard the stories. I'm worried that I'm going to die. And he spoke to all of his family and friends who were like, oh my God, you've seen Black Shuck? You're totally going to die. Oh my God, you're going to die by the end of the year. And the guy thought, well, I'm not sure how much I believe in this legend, but weird things have happened. If you go to Bungay Church, you can still see the scorch marks that Black Shuck supposedly left. Wherever he goes, he leaves scorch marks. You can see them. How else did they get here? There wasn't a fire or anything. So anyway, the dude thinks maybe I should get out of here for a little while, just until the end of the year. And he thinks, well, I've got family in Eastern Europe. I'll go there. So he goes to Ukraine, and he ends up there in Ukraine in 1986. In Chernobyl. And I'm not saying that Black Shuck was there, but I am saying there was a big explosion, and I bet there were some scorch marks. But you might be thinking, okay, all right, that's still all just hearsay. Black Shuck was not responsible for Chernobyl. Well, friends, I myself have seen Black Shuck. I know, but I'm not the sort of person who normally goes in for ghosts and spirits and that kind of thing, no. I'm a big old cynic, me. I like the stories, but I'm not really down with it. But I saw him. You see, my grandparents live kind of out of the city in a village called Fritton. And they actually live slightly out of the village even. So it's basically their house, lovely house, and then farms. Just fields everywhere. And we went there for a family gathering, as you do. It was about 2004, so I'd have been about 10. And I got bored, as you do. Lovely summer's day. I'm going to go for a wander in the field. And I did. And it got a bit late the night was drawing in, and I thought, well, you know what? I think I should probably go home. But Norfolk is very flat. There are no good landmarks. You can't just turn back and go, oh yeah, it's the thing on the hill. No, flat everywhere. And where my grandparents live, fields everywhere, just flat fields. I couldn't see it, didn't know where I was going. It was getting dark. It was a little bit spooky. I was a bit scared. But then I saw Black Shuck. I know it was him because he had the fiery eyes and well, I don't know if he had the fiery eyes. He was a big old dog, big old shaggy dog. And he looked at me. I thought, oh, it's Black Shuck. But you know, being a bit of a precocious child, like I didn't freak out because I didn't really believe in the story, but I was like, oh, Black Shuck. And I followed him. And you'll never believe it, but he took me back, didn't he? He only helped me find the cottage. Oh, well, just before he went though, I turned to him because I'd, you know, done my Ladybird book of Norse myths, etc. And I said to him, you know, they say that you're Odin's dog, and if you're looking for Odin, well, maybe Ragnarok's happened, so maybe you should look in Valhalla, because that's probably where he is. Anyway, thanks for helping me get home, bye. And so I went on. Dog went off into the distance. I went on and lived my life, never really thought much of it. But now this dog, remember, there have been sightings of him for hundreds and hundreds of years. He's essentially immortal. But in 2014, in May, they dug up, I believe, a churchyard. I don't think it was Bungay, forgive me, I can't quite remember where. Somewhere in East Anglia, Google it, you'll find the news articles. And they dug up this massive dog skeleton. And I mean, like, it was 7 foot long. Now, I'm not saying that Black Shuck died so that he could go and find his master Odin in Valhalla. But I am saying that if you go to that churchyard, you will see scorch marks on the ground.